Hello everyone and welcome to The Drop. This is Hammad, and today our topic is going to be educational system in Pakistan and what kind of changes does it need. We have with us Zahra Ahmad. She's a program coordinator at Beyond the Classroom, and she's also a curriculum developer. She designs programs on empathy and leadership. She's also a dance fitness trainer. So Zahra, tell us a bit about yourself. What got you into this sector of changing the educational system? What's wrong with our educational system?
So I will start off by first answering what inspired me, and then we'll very briefly talk about the problems of Pakistan's education system. So my journey in education system started when I was a freshman in LUMS, and I volunteered at an organization. It was named RUP, which means Human Connection. And over there, my whole views about education system transformed within a month. I was raised in a society, in a family setup where beating kids or scolding them was the way to educate them. And when I volunteered in this organization, it was all about developing human connections and relationships. Empathy was the core value, and that's how I learned that education goes beyond the four walls of a classroom. It's so much more about relationship building, understanding each other, respecting multiple perspectives, and practicing critical thinking. So right now, the work that I do aligns with my own journey. Beyond the Classroom, as the name states, it believes in designing programs which foster critical thinking, leadership, and empathy in students in their formative years. The rationale is that yes, grades are very important. Books, we love books, but at the same time, the world is growing at a pace, and in terms of diversity, that it's very important that we teach our kids a lot more about empathy and viewing world from different perspectives.
Wow, that's quite amazing. So, for example, now we're living in a world where white nationalism, discrimination against people of color, refugee crisis, Hindutva, all the right-wing movements are very popular right now in the world. So, how important is it in this environment to teach our kids about tolerance, empathy, respecting the other perspective?
Right. I believe that in such a world, all these values become a lot more important. Very briefly, I recently went to an international conflict camp in USA, where students from 27 different countries, they come together and they live at a camp in Maine for 3 weeks. Now these students, they are from different cultural backgrounds, different religious backgrounds. You have kids from Palestine, you have kids from Israel, and when you truly experience our diverse world, because initially I was also in a bubble where diversity was a word that I used. When I went to the camp, I experienced it, and that is when I realized the importance of teaching our kids about multiple perspectives. Because in Pakistan, as you also know, we've all been brought up in a system where knowledge is just transferred. We don't give our students the opportunity to analyze the information that they're receiving. It's just, oh, you learn this and that is it. You only worry about the grades. So I feel like in such a diverse world, paying more attention to empathetic values is the way to go about.
Okay, so there's another question that comes here. So we know that there are many organizations like this who are trying to bring about a change in our educational system. But aren't these organizations limited to a certain class of people? Because we have the masses, I feel, are still not able to receive this kind of revolutionary learning methods.
I would say yes and no. Yes, I mean, of course, there are organizations which really limit their work to certain population. But if I talk about my work or my organization, every day we intend to expand our work. Like very recently, we opened chapters in Faisalabad and Gujranwala. Now, these are the cities where kids have a very mechanical set of education system. Similarly, we're trying to expose our students to diversity by taking them to other countries. And like you said, it might seem that, oh, not everyone is given the opportunity, but I can tell you that in the past 2 years, we've had kids from trust school or low-income schools going on these international programs on scholarships and experiencing world from a different perspectives. So I think it's a bit of both. We definitely have people who are working for the masses, but at the same time, nothing is perfect. So just intending to expand our work is what we're trying to do.
Okay, so when you're exposing children from a low socioeconomic background, underprivileged, are the parents of these children receptive to these new strategies, new learning methods? Because that's very important as well.
No, I agree with you. I feel like with like every other thing, in terms of parents also, we have a very, very diverse audience. You have parents who understand the values, that they're receptive. In terms of low income, to be honest, a lot of parents, they don't even know what's happening in the school, right? So sometimes that is the case, that parents are a little disconnected. So I would say yes, some are receptive, some are a little disconnected, but I feel like once we end our program and they see a change in their kids' behavior, that is when they really get involved. Because our methodology is not to teach or tell. The idea is to make them experience a certain value. So when I step into a classroom, I don't tell them that, oh, empathy is important. I make them go through an activity which shows the value of empathy, and then they're like, oh, in a diverse world, we need to be more empathetic, and then they try to practice those action steps at their homes also. And that's how the parents come on board.
So that was Zahra. Thank you everyone for tuning in to The Drop. I hope you like this edition of The Drop, and do leave a comment, share your feedback, that what do you guys think about our educational system, what kind of things that it needs, how we can improve it, and see you next time.
We're really excited to share fantastic content with you
on all the fun topics.
Please subscribe to our channel by
clicking on the subscribe button below.